podcast, baby.
Welcome to Two Guys Talking.
With Marcus and Kris. I like doing the names now. You always do the names. It's good to switch it up.
Yeah, I feel like when we do end a podcast, you always try and drag it off, and I have to be the one to hard cut it.
Yeah,
which is why I always let you do the intro. Yeah. Simply for that reason.
Someone's got... Yeah, but no, it's good, man. I mean, like, you know, we talk about switching it up, but we've still got... this. Well, it's the same beer as the last...
We are on the last week of our Robinson's Brewery crawl. We've got 2 more beers. And we are starting off with the classic, the original Trooper Lager beer, IPA, whatever it is.
Well, it says IPA on the label.
It does say IPA on the
label.
label.
Okay, lager is very different from an IPA. I can tell you as to why, but I've forgotten the reason. So with that beer tasting I was on like a year and a half ago with a mate of mine, right? Brewdog. The guy said it's only a lager when it's been in a cellar for so many weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong. Google it. You might actually know because you do work in a bar.
Now, an IPA is an Indian Pale Ale, and the history behind IPAs was they were made stronger as they were transported from the UK to India, and over that time, it would deferment or something.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you exactly what it was. However, I know they purposely made an IPA stronger.
Nice.
And also, it wasn't carbonated like we have now. We have a lot of carbonated beers.
That's the thing, like ales are quite... They are carbonated, just they're quite flat. They're not very fizzy. But I mean, like, I find if you go to a pub or whatever and you with your mates, like, the people who drink lager versus the people who drink ale, very different kind of people. My mates do not... I've got mates in work, they do not drink... well, some of them drink at all. But those who don't drink ale, it's not their thing. They wouldn't touch the stuff. But, like, for me, it's just... I would never touch lager.
I know why we drink ale. And I've had this conversation in work. It's not because we just happen to like ale.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's because... You remember drinking in the No Name? The cheapest beer was a fucking Doom Bar.
Yeah.
And we would go in with a tenner, 4 pints, £2.50 each, night sorted.
Now, if you're from London, you've never heard of a beer costing so little. There are places in Bolton where you can get, well, just in the north in general, I suppose, like beer for like 95p at one point. You're talking your Spoons, you're talking your Copper Dragon.
Well, I think the cheapest beers in Spoons before lockdown were like £1.60.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like, you can't argue with that. You go to, I mean, even Manchester's getting gentrified, right? Like, you're paying like £4.50 to £5.
I would argue Spoons has ruined Doom Bar. So we've had this conversation before about how the overall quality of Doom Bar has gone down as it's become more widespread.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, I mean, in my opinion, Spoons has ruined a lot of things. But Doom Bar, that's the last straw. Like, I mean, Doom Bar's very popular now. I mean, the fact that you can get it in a bottle in a shop, you know, like, but it's a very different taste experience.
Much. And in saying that, have you heard of Neverspoons?
Neverspoons, no.
There's an app called Neverspoons, which was created so that people could avoid Wetherspoons and go to pubs near a Wetherspoons after the CEO basically said, well, I'm not going to pay you, just go get another job. And didn't support the staff.
Yeah. Look, there's ways of doing things for PR. That isn't the way to do it. I mean, I can imagine, maybe he was just being honest about how he couldn't afford to help his staff. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think it didn't come across that way. I kind of feel...
I'm pretty sure the business model in Spoons is they buy things as close as they can to being out of date. And by doing that, they get it at a cheaper rate, which is why they can offer such cheap prices. Whereas most other bars have to buy whatever's available, which happens to be at the longest possible dates, and they have to pay the full price.
One thing that I appreciate about the existence of Wetherspoons is this book that this guy made called Wetherspoons Carpets and Appreciation. I'm just going to quickly look up. I want to credit the author on this.
And also, can we talk about why every toilet in a Wetherspoons is upstairs without fail?
Why is that, actually?
I don't know. It's weird.
All right, so the book is written by a guy called Kit Cales?
Kit Cales?
Yeah, Cales, right?
Okay.
And he literally... He went on a journey. And when you drink beer, you do go on a journey, okay? Usually, as you say, it's upstairs to the bathroom. But in this guy's case, he went to every Spoons in the country and he photographed the carpets, because the carpets in Wetherspoons, they're all different. They're not. There's no two carpets the same. And there is actually a history as to why the carpets are, unique, like where the carpets came from. Like, he'd sit at the bar, he'd sit at the pub in Wetherspoons, like in South Bromley, London, right? Kent area. And he'd ask the guy, oh, why, do you know anything about this carpet? And the guy'd be like, oh yeah, my mate lives across the road from me. 20 years ago when they did this place, or whenever it was, he was offered the spare carpet because the pub, like, they got all this carpet. They didn't need it all. There was some spare carpet, and my mate was offered it. Oh, do you want this carpet? And he was like, what, for my house? No, I don't want that. And he has regretted that decision ever since, whoever this geezer is, because he could have got a free, authentic Spoons carpet. You can't buy that anywhere, man.
I mean, that's a weird thing to be like, I could have had a Spoons carpet. Like, who wants a Spoons carpet?
Mate, I've got the fucking pub door in my mum's, what's it called? Shed. Yeah. And the story behind that, so obviously, like, our local, the No Name.
Yeah.
We're not going to disclose the name of the pub on this podcast, but by proxy, it is also called the No Name, right?
Oh, that's just giving it away, innit?
It's our local, or it was when we were living in our hometown. And what's good about it is they recently did a refurb, and they put up on Facebook saying, oh, who wants this door? And I'm not talking the front door. I thought it was the front door for the pub. I'm like, oh man, yeah. I mean, one day I'm hoping to buy a house and I can use that door somewhere, right?
That'd a bit of history behind it.
Yeah,
like, you have a story behind that door. And when I was a teenager, this is the door I went through to get fucking smashed.
And now I'm going through this door to get to fucking bed after being smashed, right? But the thing is with this door, it wasn't the front door, like I say, it was the ladies' toilet door. I'm just gonna be honest, right? Yeah, but that's the good one. If you're gonna get a toilet door, you want to get the female one because it's gonna be cleaner, right?
I think I said this to you the other day. Like, men historically do not aim well, and they end up pissing everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like this was on a cubicle. This was the door before the cubicles, so
yeah,
it's not that bad. But I mean, mate, it's got a lovely brass handle on it. It's a proper fire door. It's like a really old door. Like, this pub's been around since the 1600s.
Like, it's not a hollow door, it is solid wood.
Nah, man, it's a proper fire door.
Yeah.
Me and my mate, we had to carry it about what would normally be like a 3-minute walk to my mum's shed from the pub. And my God, the two of us, we could not carry this fucking door. Like, we had to call my mate's dad to come down in the car and bring it down, drive it for 10 seconds. Mum opens the door, she's like, Marcus, what the fuck? Like, what? I'm like, Mum, open. I hadn't told her. Open the gate. I can't think.
Open the side gate.
Open the side gate to get to the shed. And she's like, "What on earth are you doing?" But she couldn't
couldn't fathom why the fuck you brought this door home.
But she couldn't have a go at me then and there. I mean, I'm 25. Not that matters. My mate's dad was there, and he was like, "You're right, Carol. How's it going?" It's like, yeah. It's like, it's all good. And then, obviously, when he left, it was a case of, I don't know what the hell you're playing at. Why have you got this door?
It's upcycling, isn't it?
Well, I've had this door for like a good 10 months now. I went to go and see my mum today, Easter Sunday, when we're recording this podcast.
You know what you should do for the time being?
I went to go and see the door's still there, man.
You know what you should do for the time being? Replace the shed door with the bathroom door.
Ooh, that could be good, actually. But what would I do with the shed door?
Just put it where the door is at the minute.
Oh, wait, so you mean...
Just swap the doors around.
I mean, it's a heavy door. It's also a very weird shaped door. Like, it's very tall.
Yeah, you'd have to make sure the dimensions are the same, because you don't want to be going over with the fucking hacksaw and going...
Yeah. Mum sees me, like, cutting up the door. She's like, right, I don't like where this is going. And I'm like, no, you don't like where it's going. You don't like where it's going to be once I put it. But to be honest, mate, like, that door... Like, when I got it, it's got a glass window in it, which is it's a bit annoying because I was thinking, I could make it into a coffee table. Because sometimes you get like these weird Northern Quarter bars in Manchester, and they've got doors with handle as a table.
You know what? I would love to grab, those massive industrial spools that they use for cables or
Loads
pipes?
of people. Yeah, man.
I would love to grab one of those and make that into a table.
What it is it's bars being cheap and just going to a tip and getting like random shit. But it's classy. Me and my mate in our student house, like in final year of uni, we had a couple of wooden pallets just stuck on top of each other with some wheels on the bottom.
I thought that was great.
Mate, it was
I would
sick.
love a table like that.
We dropped so much shit through a fucking wooden pallet. My mum wasn't impressed with it.
It
but
did
I thought it was
need
great.
a glass top. I will say that you definitely needed a glass top on that.
Yeah, I think so. We didn't. It was literally just 2 pallets.
No, it was three.
£35.
It was three.
£35, man.
You paid for them?
I didn't need it.
You know what's weird? We in work we leave our pallets just outside the storage area, so when the delivery guys come around next, they can pick them up and take them back.
Yeah.
If you went to the back of our building, you could literally just pick up a pallet and walk off.
So sick.
The only problem is the eye died.
I don't know. This was like just a normal kind of oak wood kind of colour. I don't know what pallet's made out of, what kind of wood, but just like standard. It was varnished though.
Yeah.
Like it had been sanded down. It had been done. Stuff had been done to it.
Oh, like someone's picked it up, sanded it down.
Yeah,
varnished
like
it.
this was actually the person we bought it from lived on our estate and had used it as a table themselves.
Oh, nice.
You know.
I mean, quirky tables like that though are interesting. It's not like you just I have a table, like fucking good for you.
Yeah.
Our table in this flat, knock knock, if you can hear it on the mic, is I got it for two purposes. I got it from IKEA, and I went to the bench section and grabbed a bench that would work as a table.
It's actually a good looking. I mean,
yeah, and it looks good as a table. It's not too big, quite narrow. And then when we have people over, when we're allowed to have people over, if there's not enough seating, it's like, right, clear the table. Everyone's like, why?
On the
Extra
table.
seats.
It's literally 3 people right here.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is it's a talking point, just like the coasters that you've got.
Yeah.
Everyone who comes here, they're always like, oh, these coasters, they are laser etched, but also they've been like cut as well. Maker's Market, but every time I've been to the Maker's Market, I've never found the people who make these, which is what's good about Maker's Market. It's like a one-off. Like you find something you like, there's an essence that you're not just going to find that again. You can't just go to the shop tomorrow. Like it's crafted stuff.
You know what? My lamp is an old army radio that someone's crafted into a lamp, obviously.
They just
And
stuck a light bulb
that's
on it
what
to
we
go.
use to light the apartment during the podcast.
You know what's nice though? The tuning dials still work.
Yeah, the tuning dial still works.
Yeah.
You know what's really annoying?
What?
He would find random shit like that and make lights or clocks or something out of them. And I've only seen him there once and I've not seen him since.
I've seen it done, but I mean, like, not for a while. I mean, obviously lockdown doesn't help, but like,
there's one that always uses spare spirit bottles, but I think that's a bit tacky. It's like, you've got a spirit bottle with a light in it. Well done.
I mean, you can't say that. I've literally got one in there. I took this bottle of bourbon whiskey from. Is it bourbon or is it bourbon? I say
bourbon.
Bourbon's a biscuit. It's the original Oreo. I don't care what the Americans say. Bourbons. You got your custard creams.
No, the custard cream's the original. If anything's original, it's the custard cream.
But I heard Bernie on the RT podcast. Like, obviously he's not there anymore, but I don't know when it was. He was like talking to Gav. The fuck is a bourbon?
Yeah.
What is it? A bourbon? Like, what is that?
Bourbon.
And it's like a shit Oreo. Is that a knockoff Oreo? And it's like, nah, man, this came first. Like,
this was the OG, and then you made Oreos.
I feel
weird. Like an Oreo is a custard cream and a bourbon slapped together. You got the bourbon chocolatey exterior and the creamy, milky texture for the inside.
Maybe that's where we went wrong. But I mean, nah, man. But we drink tea, so it's like we've got a whole other level of flavour going on. But I find it weird because you go to the supermarket, you go to Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco, doesn't matter. You go to their own brand section with like shit stuff. You can buy a massive packet of custard creams for 40p.
Yeah.
Asda branded, but then the exact same ones in Tesco and Sainsbury's. Like Oreos are made by the Oreo company, or Oh, what they called now? They bought Cadbury's and it really pisses me off.
Nah, really?
Like, I want to say Monday, but it's not Monday.
You know what?
What is it? Shit. Okay. No. So what I'm saying is that Oreos are made by a company, whereas custard creams are just made by, I don't know. It's like a shape, and then it's just like franchised. I don't know. It's weird. It's a really weird. Do you not find that interesting? I find that weird.
Let me explain why I think Cadbury's are shit.
Ooh, it is Easter Sunday, man.
No, I'm not saying the chocolate's bad. I enjoy a Cadbury's chocolate, and I still buy it, even though I know this fact. You know the fair trade stuff? Like, people endeavour to give living wages to the farmers in third world countries so that they can produce more, produce better, actually be able to get the same sort of livelihood that you could get over here working an office job, essentially.
Okay.
On the most basic terms. Probably not 100% right. Cadbury's don't do that. They pay the fair trade company a stipend to use that logo.
Okay.
And obviously, for whatever reason, it is cheaper for them to pay the stipend and then not use fair trade farmers than just use fair trade farmers.
But they got fair trade all over their packaging, though.
Yeah, they just pay the company. They pay fair trade.
Oh, that's messed up, man.
Or donate to fair trade to use the fair trade logo. It's like, oh, we use fair trade chocolate. It's like, nah, fuck off, you don't.
Wasn't a friend of ours saying, like you get the recycling logo on packaging?
Yeah.
If it's the circle, it means that they do. If it's the triangle, it means that...
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I've known that for donkeys. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I don't know. What are you doing about it?
What can I do about it? When I
Talk about it on the podcast, man.
When I buy my shit, I try and recycle it, right?
Let's start a movement.
Maybe I need to look at it and stop buying things that have the triangle and just look for the circle.
Look, man, I want to start movements, but I want to be sat down whilst doing it. I think it's horseshit. I don't know, like, why it's so stupid. Why is that even a thing? Like, there's so much like government procedure and red tape and shit in doing things in a certain way when it comes to manufacturing and making sure things are taxed and all that. But when it comes to being truthful about recycling's quite like costly venture to do. Very important though. Like you can't lie about that.
I know. It's like, I tell you what. You know where the UK is aiming to be carbon neutral by 2050.
Yeah.
In Manchester, I would say we are the leading city for that. Mm-hmm. Like, we're pushing green buses. I don't know. You know the 50. They got fully electric buses.
If we're pushing buses, it's because they're shit.
It's because
if you've got to get up and push the fucking thing. Yeah, that's a dad joke.
Oh, God.
Honestly. No. Like that bus, the number 50, I used to get on that bus quite a lot when I was working, when I was going to uni whilst I was working. And the amount of times that fucker broke down or didn't turn up.
You know what's really annoying?
What?
I've never ridden one of the electric buses because they brought them out after I needed to use it.
Wait, so are those buses... I mean, they were operated by Stagecoach, but last week you were saying how there's going to be like a central governing body for like transporting Greater Manchester, right? So that's cool. But when it comes to those buses, are they fully electric now?
Yeah, the Manchester's council funded bus companies to get fully electric buses, reduce emissions, create a greener space.
Investment, nice.
And I believe there's about 150 of these buses.
Okay.
So they've paid for a percentage of it, and then the company's paid for a percentage.
I don't need to ride the bus now. I mean, obviously lockdown and all that, and working at home and being able to walk to work, which is really cool. But when I used to get the bus, they were hybrid. But I mean, they were hybrid for like the first. So when the bus sets off, it's in electric mode.
Yeah.
Fucking 5 seconds later, diesel kicks in. Like literally, what is the point? It's very rare.
You know what? You say that, there is a massive point to that, because actually getting from a standing start to going uses a lot of fuel.
That's true.
A lot of fuel.
And to be fair, sometimes, like if a bus gets to a bus stop early, it has to sit there for ages just to like balance, which is really annoying when you just got on the bus and you're on a rush somewhere and the guy's just sat there chilling. Yeah. But I know why he's doing it.
He can just run the battery.
He does, and it's just like...
And when he sets off, it gets it from 0 to 5 miles per hour. It gets it rolling, and once it starts rolling, the engine will kick in. And because it's already going, he doesn't need to use as much fuel. It's like air travel. You know, the biggest polluter in air travel is taking off.
Oh yeah, because that once you're in the air, it's like the engines can cut out in air, and it's fine because it's designed to glide. So you're not actually, you don't need to like burn any fuel. Yeah, it's all in the takeoff and the landing because that's when the most.
Not even the landing. It is purely the takeoff and the taxiing because you've got to burn fuel to get yourself moving, and that takes a lot of fuel.
Once you got momentum, it's easier to continue.
And taxiing takes a lot of fuel.
That's true.
Taking off, they just go full throttle to take off. But once they get to cruising altitude, they'll drop it down and just float along.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I looked up. So the company that makes Oreos, is called Mondelez International. It's where are they based? Chicago, Illinois. They're a fucking massive company, and they've been going for. I can't see just on Google here when they were founded, but it's a long time, man. And they bought Cadbury's recently. And remember last week I was talking about my experience working, my first job working in a shop, and I remember on the tills, right, someone scanned a Cadbury's bar, and one day for some reason the till system, you know how it tells you what the item's called on the till, right? Rather than saying Cadbury's or chocolate or confectionery or whatever. For some reason, the ticker had changed to Mondelez, and this customer was so like annoyed about that. Like she really took it personally. She's like, "It's not Mondelez, it's Cadbury's. Why are you calling it that?" And it's like, love, it's a quid. Just pay it. Go, please.
Yeah.
But like, she was really emotional.
I guess
really emotional about it.
It's because you've got another.
It's a British institution.
Yeah, you've got
once
another.
Again, we're selling it off.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's another British brand being bought out by an overseas company.
Because we're not proud to be British. We don't actually... Like Mini, it's part German. Rolls-Royce, German, became Indian for... Oh no, I think Jaguar became Indian as well for a little bit. I'm not sure.
Rolls-Royce, I will say, split in two. The engine manufacturing is still British. The car manufacturing is German.
I thought they had BMW engines though.
Probably. Let me specify, Rolls-Royce engine manufacturing isn't road car engines.
Oh.
It's jet engines. The shit that goes on jumbo jets.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm talking about my motoring here. Yeah. Like, obviously, I don't know, man. Like, I just think, like Top Gear did it years ago, you know, the whole tribute to British motoring and, you know, companies like Jensen, Lotus.
What about Aston Martin?
Well, Aston Martin.
Quintessential James Bond 007.
At one point.
And the reason I bring this up is because they had it on Top Gear recently.
Mm-hmm.
They did a Top Gear special with Aston Martin James Bond cars and Aston Martins in general. And Colin Firth, Uncle Fuzzy himself,
oh my God,
got
really?
sponsored to make a Bond car.
Really? Was this recently?
It's still going on. He's still making it now.
Oh my God, nice.
It's still being released now.
That's sick. Good for him. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to tune in.
Stiggy was in the bunker.
No, was he actually?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Colin Firth, man. That's actually mental. I would love to be like able to. Well, obviously Top Gear is not the same as it was, but I mean, he's come really far, man.
Man,
he was just a guy in his like late 20s, like fucking around with like, I don't know, jet propelled kettles and shit, and like prams that can do 160 miles an hour. But I mean, he's doing some cool stuff, man.
Yeah, he's got a pretty regular thing going on.
Yeah.
Like he made a tank recently, a screw tank that could go over water and over any ground except tarmac.
Okay, like the smoothest possible surface can't do.
Yeah, but any surface that isn't tarmac, it's perfect for.
I mean, you're not going to find like a paved road in a Warzone, are you? Well, you might do. It depends where you have it.
Oh yeah, it's like any conflict that's been going on recently. Hate to say it, has been in more arid countries with deserts. So you don't really have paved roads, and getting stuck would be a problem if you've just got wheeled.
Not to get into it too much because I don't like know the ins and outs, but it is sort of our fault that.
I mean, again, not getting in the ins and outs. That's why I just said arid countries.
Yeah, but back on Aston Martin, like at one point they were owned by Ford. I believe. Well, they then became privately owned, I'm not sure how they're doing now. They are public on the stock market, but that doesn't. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, but a company can be public on a stock market and be owned by a wider conglomerate.
No, so like they're not. I'm gonna have to look it up now because last time I knew, they're on the stock market, they're public, but they're not like under some kind of umbrella. So I don't know. Let's have a look here, Aston Martin.
I couldn't say either, to be fair. Although I will say the subreddit for the United Kingdom as an April Fool's joke became dominated by Germans.
Really?
They changed the logo on it to a German, the outline of Germany with the German flag behind it. And it's like top post for United Kingdom or United Kingdom. And you're looking at this like, has something gone wrong on Reddit? What's going on here? And you've got all the Germans posting like, holy shit, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Like, why has United Kingdom got the German flag? Why is our subreddit now our United Kingdom? So the Germans proper bombarded the subreddit.
Okay.
And it took me a day or two before I realised, wait, this is an April Fool's joke. So they started it before April 1st and they kept it going for a few days. Mm-hmm. It was so confusing. It's like, am I on our United Kingdom or am I on the German subreddit? I don't know. I don't know. It's all in German, but it says United Kingdom.
Oh, I love that. It's like really kind of like, I don't know, just fucking with people. Did you do much for April Fools this year or not? Like,
oh, God, no. Fuck that. Can't be asked.
Well, you know Dave, who was on the podcast last week?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he used an app or something. I saw through it straight away, but I did sort of believe it. He took a video of himself in his parents' back garden, and it was like, oh guys, there's like a bit of a river, a bit of a flow coming through here, like a bit of a, I don't know what they call it, like a tributary. I don't know, like some kind of
tributary, like there's a little stream of water going through his back garden,
and like it was 3D augmented, and man, it was like a massive sinkhole. He filmed a video of this, and he's there, like and then he green screened himself in front of it as if he was stood in front of it, just like, I mean, you at home can't see my face, but just like, you know, just like blank poker face with like just chilling, like taking a selfie without smiling, and just a massive like waterfall going on behind him, getting bigger by the minute. I don't know what app he used. It's pretty cool though, but I didn't do anything for April Fools, but I don't know. I was aware that it was April Fools, and I was prepared not to be fooled by anyone.
You know what? It's a weird one because I've never really done anything for April Fools. And in the UK, traditionally, it's only until midday. Like you only do it in the morning. You don't do it in the evening.
Is it until 12 or until half
12?
11? Okay.
It's until 12.
Okay.
I know in the US, it's all day. It's April 1st. Just take the piss out of everyone.
Yeah.
But in the UK, it's 12 o'clock, no more fooling.
Yeah. We're very sincere people.
Yeah.
You know, we don't like fun.
I remember I saw a video go up on YouTube, and it was like, this is the new meta in Warzone, and it was the fucking Milano. It's like, it's got the slowest TTK, this and that. I'm like, if it's got the slowest TTK, why the fuck are you saying this is the best gun? I'm watching the video and watching him put all the attachments. I'm like, wait a minute. Fuck.
What's a TTK?
Time to kill.
Time to kill.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's obviously, how long when you're actually firing at them does it take?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, Warzone is a massive problem right now because the TTK has gotten so quick, you may as well just be playing multiplayer, Call of Duty multiplayer.
So I don't play Warzone, right? But you've been saying this week how they've like fucked the game.
They massively fucked it in many ways.
Okay.
Like they've had the DMI spam, which was like 2 shots from a DMI, dead. That's it, game over, man.
DMI is designated marksman rifle, right?
Yeah.
Same as Halo.
Pretty much.
Is that an actual gun? Is there an actual gun called that?
DMI stands for Designated Marksman Rifle, and there's been a variety of them. So DMI in Halo just means Designated Marksman Rifle.
Yeah.
DMI in Warzone was the DMI 14.
Well, in Halo, a lot of the guns are based on like several guns because obviously in the future you'd think we'd just like condense that shit.
Well, a DMI is basically a precise gun. It's precision weaponry in a standard caliber.
Yeah.
not a special caliber.
Okay.
But they had the DMI spam. Then they had Mac 10s everywhere, and they fixed that. They got rid of like the Mac 10 spam. It was still like one of the better SMGs, probably the best, but they killed the DMI, which I was thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
Then suddenly you see the fucking fire coming out,
Okay.
and it's cut the time to kill to like 0.45 seconds
Jesus.
or 450 milliseconds.
It's like a sniper rifle.
Yeah, and I was watching a video on it, and he was explaining like the average human reaction is 200 milliseconds. So your time to react is essentially 250 milliseconds.
Yeah.
And for most people, by the time you mentally acknowledge that you're taking damage, you're already down.
Yeah.
And you don't even snipe anymore. The meta is FFAR and AUG, 2 assault rifles.
Okay.
And you counter snipe with the assault rifle AUG, and anything close quarters, use the FFAR because it outguns everything.
Right, so my question to you is, how is this any different from 12 years ago when Modern Warfare 2 came out?
Modern Warfare 2 was balanced, man. Although the UMP was spammed.
Mate, get a silencer on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that they did nerf it like over time, but at one point, man, two shots, you're gone.
No, not 2 shots.
Well, no, not when we got to play the game. We didn't have it at release, man. But it was like, by that point, it had its reputation. And it's like, not to the chest, to the head. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, you're just not going to have a good time. You go on Modern Warfare, I don't know if there's any lobbies going right now for Modern Warfare 2. But like the last time I played it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Mate, you go in any games on there, that is not real fucking warfare, right? Everyone's jumping about. There's like they've got their snipers in there, like they're flicking them, they're juggling them and shit.
You know what?
Doing all that, and I'm just running around like, the fuck are you doing? Knife, sit down, right? And then I get kicked, and I'm like, how did I get kicked? Clear the hack lobby, because obviously people are just only doing it for leaked ponage.
It's funny you say that, because that's how Modern Warfare's kind of evolved. Like they've got a tactic called bunny hopping.
Okay.
Right, so you tap A and jump, and then right as you land, you press A again, and you kind of hop along.
I see you doing that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to kind of master, but it helps you get around corners and kind of break people's aim assist. So it's kind of like giving you the advantage when you jump around a corner.
But you've got to work for it. You've got to do like it's like Tekken
and the weird
Street
thing
Fighter
is,
styles combination.
Like
buttons.
I've not properly played a Call of Duty game since like Modern Warfare 3 probably.
Okay.
And the development and changes from Modern Warfare 3 to Modern Warfare are massive. Like I went into that game for the first time when Warzone first came out, and it was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why is he hopping around everywhere?
Yeah.
What's this fucking sliding thing he's doing? Slide cancelling everywhere.
Is it like a totally different game?
Completely.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is, because they got the whole Warzone game mode popularized by Fortnite. And what do you think about that? Like how obviously
Battle Royales.
Yeah.
That
whole game mode, like that has pioneered that has paved the way for the modern FPS. Like,
you know what?
I'd hate for Halo Infinite to have that.
I never got into Fortnite. I thought PUBG was interesting, but it was again something that I never thought I'd get into.
I never really got into it, but that was.
I think when I was watching the gameplay, it was only third person, and then they introduced first person mode and stuff like that. But I just never ended up getting it. But I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then Fortnite I played and didn't like because it was a bit too cartoony. And then Battlefield 5 brought out Firestorm, which I was really excited for. And they just bricked it. They didn't support it well enough. You had to have Battlefield 5 to play Firestorm. And it wasn't like Warzone where you could auto-fill. So if you went in as a solo on a trios, you would go in on your own. You needed 2 other people with Battlefield to go on with you to play Firestorm on trios. So I just played a couple of solos.
Yeah.
And, I did enjoy that when I played it. I never won any games. But I don't know. And then Warzone came out and it was free to play. And I just ended up getting that and playing that. And I've been playing it for a year now.
So was it the start of lockdown when you started playing it?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So that game pretty much is your lockdown. Like
It was. And we've seen it change a lot during lockdown, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. And I just wish it didn't have as many problems as it did, because it is a truly enjoyable game when the game isn't being a piece of shit.
Well, here's the thing, right? So surely when you're enjoying the game, the people that you're playing against are not enjoying the game. And when you're not enjoying the game, they are enjoying the game. Like, it's an ebb and flow.
Well, this is the thing. If you die to a fair gunfight, you accept that you know what, it was a fair gunfight. It was a good game. Fuck it. Into the next one. However, the way the game works at the minute, you just die so quickly.
Right.
And sometimes you're just like, what the fuck? I should have won that. I was on a game recently today, actually, and close quarters game. I'm doing a lot of damage. I'm pushing a team in duos. I've downed one guy. The second guy's plating up. I push him with a fucking Fennec, which is one of the fastest firing guns in the game, and start shooting at him. He pulls out his fucking FFAR assault rifle and beams me down while I'm halfway through killing him.
Like, if you're taking bullets, you shouldn't be able to, like, perform your, like, marksmanship
Well, this is the
adequately.
thing. Yeah.
Like you're
the
taking
guy,
hits, man. That's
the guy I was on with was like, for all intents and purposes, you should have won that. However, this gun is such a beast at killing. I understand why you lost as well. And it's like, well, this is just fucking bullshit then, isn't it?
Well, isn't it one of those? Like, if there's an overpowered gun, why doesn't everyone just use it?
Everyone does use it. That's the problem.
Well, why do you use it?
Because everyone else uses it. And if you want to be competitive, you have to use this gun.
So would you not argue that if everyone's using it, then it's balanced because everyone's using it?
But this is the thing. At the time, I get bored of using the same guns all the time. So I mix it up. I try this, I try that. I do a bit of this. Sometimes it's like, oh, this doesn't work. And then other times it's like, yeah, this is actually quite fun. Yeah, when you're going into a fight and you know if you push someone and start shooting and you get the first shots out and they're just going to turn around and kill you,
yeah.
Why am I going to push that fight?
Something to do.
What, die and get annoyed? Because I got the first shot out. I've got the jump on the guy. He's just gone, yeah, nah, and turned around and beamed me down.
You could do what one of our mates does on shooting games and just kind of like roam around the outside of the map trying to find glitches.
Oh, lol.
And then just do that.
Yeah, the game has been fraught with glitches though. This is the thing. You say this, people do this all the time, and it's annoying as well. Like, Warzone is a broken game.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating.
Well, I mean, I've not played any games for ages. Like, over Christmas, man, that was a good time. Like, played a lot of Skyrim.
We were simultaneously playing Skyrim.
Had such a... But, man, that game's old.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I bought it for my mum, man.
Yeah, man.
She got a Nintendo Switch. I was like, I'm going to get you Skyrim because I think you're going to enjoy it.
Has she been playing that?
No.
Nice.
Baby sister, however, I will ask her if she has tried it, since it's like I would say it is an adult's version of Zelda. That's how I still.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, well, it's just like more.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's probably a bit hard. There's more going on, more complicated, and the themes that they deal with is a bit more. But there's no blood in Skyrim. I don't think, is there?
There's a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are moving on to the beer that I've been wanting for donkeys.
I was going to say, man, this is nice. It's very light. It's got a fruitiness to it, I think.
I've not tried it yet. I've opened the bottle and I've been waiting for a good time to interject.
Oh no, man! I've just been chowing down.
This is Trooper Sun and Steel, which is a lager infused with sake. Oh man,
I remember from what Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese sake.
Shit, yeah, man, I can taste that. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even realize, but
we've had 6 beers each, 2 each week. This bottle is completely different to kind of express that Japanese feel.
Is it like, it looks like an Asahi?
Yeah, exactly.
Quite like, even the label's quite shiny.
Yeah,
you know, that's nice, man. I quite like it. Yeah, man. You enjoy.
I remember when it first came out. I was like, I want to get this, and I just never could.
So, like, do they sell just cases of these, or like...
I don't know. I've tried to get it. It came out in Morrison's, and I tried to get it, and it was always out, or they didn't sell it in this Morrison's, but they might sell it in that Morrison's. And then it's something I'm always on the lookout for when I go shopping is, have they got Sun and Steel here? So when Josh sent me the link for this variety pack, and it had Sun and Steel, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to buy it, and we're going to have a Robinson's binge for like 3 weeks.
I love it. It's like, we should have, I don't know, treat it like not like a season, but you know how you'll get like a show and like, it's one of those shows where every episode is different. There's like a vague timeline, but you can jump into any episode. It doesn't really matter, right? But occasionally you'll get a 2-part or a 3-part episode where it's like, this is like an overarching story. And it feels like that with the beer. You know, we've had this case, and obviously next week we start fresh. And I'm not sure. I feel like I should contribute something. I feel like I should pick, but I don't know where I would start. Have you got any ideas?
I haven't. Well, I say I haven't. I actually do. Because I was thinking we go for something from Seven Brothers. That as well is Manchester-based brewery.
Oh, we used to live near them as well. And I never utilised it. It's so stupid.
They've released a new one over lockdown, I believe, which I wanted to get a hold of. I don't know what you can get online if they do variety packs or what. Although here's something interesting. You know, you can get kegs of lager.
Yeah. I'm
wondering if it would be worthwhile getting one of those one week. Although it would be very difficult to actually get the sound from the keg.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean...
Be a bit different.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite nice, actually. I think that'd be quite good. Because, I mean, shit, how many... Isn't that 10 pints or something in a small... You get like a small keg, not a massive one.
Or is this something we save for when we do video podcasts? Because then you can visually see.
I also feel that, like, you know, with the beer we go through during a podcast, I think we need like at least like 3 to 4 people on the show to warrant the use of a keg. I mean, I don't know when you open the keg, I don't know if you have to have it all...
No, you don't have to have it in one night.
No.
Although, once you open it, it's like a carton of milk.
Yeah.
You got 3 or 4 days to have the whole thing.
Yeah, you got to.
And then you got to replace it.
Maybe then. Maybe. It could be a good one. But this sunrise, what is it? Sun and Steel?
Sun and Steel.
That's quite nice. I mean, maybe it's the sake, but I mean, it's got a refreshing, crisp lightness to it. In terms of colour,
it's pretty light, to be fair.
I'd say, like it's like a very light... It's not an amber. Ambers are quite deep, quite rich.
You know what bar I'm looking forward to going back to when lockdown ends?
What?
The New Oxford.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, go on. Well, okay. Set the scene. Describe it.
The New Oxford is an old-time pub, probably refurbished in the last 10, 15 years. And they have booths inside, a couple of tables in the back, proper old urinals, which just what is it? Like just a wall that you pee into, and it goes down into a channel.
When I pick my boozer, I'm gonna pick it based on the pisser. Hey man, that's why you go to Temple.
Proper tradition. No, I've only been once, and I've never gone again.
Yeah, but Temple is a converted pisser. It's a public toilet. It was meant to be part of a subway network.
Yeah.
They didn't build the subway. They just built the toilet, and then decided, well, we'll make a bar out of this.
Yeah, but it's a pretty gross bar when you think about it.
No, it's sick. It's got character. It's quaint.
No, I will admit it's got character and it's quaint.
Well, I know one of the guys who helped like set it up. So, you know, like there's a lot of good stories, good people behind that bar, man.
Anyway, the New Oxford has a massive range of beer and spirits and ales.
Yeah,
whatever.
24 taps at least.
At least. All different. Nothing's the same.
Yeah. Now, I have been in Austin. There's a place. Oh, what's it called now? Bangers and something. They do like...
Bangers and Mash.
No, it's not and Mash because they're not British. But they have like 105 beers on tap. And, well, some might be ciders, but it's 105 draft choices. And their speciality in Austin, Texas is like, you know, loads of different kinds of sausage and obviously beer and stuff. But man... Like, British beer is better than American beer, hands down. I will take the New Oxford 24 on tap.
You know,
100%.
You know, RTX happens around Independence Day. July 4th. Josh, not last year, obviously the year before he went, and they went to this bar to celebrate Independence Day. And while everyone's downstairs celebrating July 4th, him and all the British people go up on the roof and start singing God Save the Queen.
Love it. Wait, so Josh was part of that crowd?
Yeah, man.
Nice, man.
It's like one of my goals in life as something to do is to get on a plane, fly to America on Independence Day. While we're on the plane, get changed into red coats. And when we get off the plane, get a little drum and walk out drumming and trumpeting.
Yeah.
Just to take the piss.
Yeah.
Just say, ha ha, you wouldn't have this holiday if it wasn't for the fucking British.
It's like,
we're here, baby.
And then, well, you'll be massively outnumbered, but you're going to look great whilst doing it.
Someone said to me that if you did that, they would turn you around and put you straight back on that plane.
Oh, 100%. But then wouldn't that be better because you're going back to a better country?
I'm going back to better beer, fuck you guys.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the beer's better. I don't think it's a better country as such, not in recent years. But I mean, if the beer's better, then that's a massive waiver. Like, it just makes it so much better.
I mean, if beer is the only reason to go abroad, you are limited in where you can go. And the thing is, I would love to visit the Middle East. I'd love to visit like Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, that kind of area, and experience what it's like there.
I will say that there's a big difference between those two places.
There is. However, they both basically have a ban on alcohol. I did quotation marks there. So
Yeah.
I know in Dubai, at least, they have something for tourists and foreigners where they can go to certain clubs.
You can.
Have a drink, but they can't get drunk. So if you get drunk, you get put in the slammer, you have to pay a fine.
Yeah, of course. Now, the thing is, right, with the UAE and, I mean, I guess more so Saudi Arabia, but I've not been there. I've only been to the UAE. Like, I don't know, man. It just feels safe. Like, you're walking around at night on the street and there's no one loitering. There's no one pissing about. There's no one drunk. People just seem to... And I only know it at face value because I haven't lived there for long at all, but... I don't know, it just feels like people behave themselves, like people aren't going to fuck around, like it just feels safe.
You know what? I feel like... I know, was it Norway, at least? They have a very safe system in place. They have high taxes. However, the government also uses those taxes to support everyone fully.
Yeah.
And it might be Norway or it might be Denmark. I can't remember which. However, they have oil fields and they use that oil money and they pump it back into the peoples. And through that, there's no like lower class for better or worse. And that helps keep everyone safe because if you've got money, you've not got a reason to go into crime. Like, oh, I can afford to look after myself. I can afford to help my family. Why would you start looking into crime, looking to getting money from anywhere else?
Yeah.
That's probably something we're missing in this country.
Yeah, like, if you fix the foundations, then you're not going to have... Like, you go into the root of the problem.
Yeah.
You know, making sure people have, in their development stage of their life, what they need to survive, right? People get desperate when they've not got the right...
Not even the development stage, because you've got people from great backgrounds who end up at the bottom.
Okay.
And people from the bottom who work their way to the top. It's having that foundation higher than the bottom.
Yeah. The bottom
and making
becomes
sure that no one goes through that foundation.
Yeah. The bottom becomes a new bottom, which is actually the middle. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice level. You know, at the very least, you are going to have a decent job which more than pays enough that you need to survive. And you're going to have a little bit of free time to do what you want to do. And we're going to have things in the country available for you to do, you know? Yeah. So, but I mean, they're going back to Dubai. Like, there's a lot of people who work in Dubai because they get paid a lot more and then they go back to their home countries after like 10 years. And then obviously they've got a load of money saved up for their families. But these people will work as taxi drivers, hotel workers and even construction workers, and they will not see their families for like 10 years.
It's no different here, man. You have people coming to the UK and working those bottom of the barrel jobs, if you like. I think we
Yeah.
talked about it recently as well. Like
Yeah.
most of our lower economy is made up of immigrants, which is really bad. But the money they get from doing those jobs is so much more than if they'd stayed in their home country.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's money they can save and send back to the families and make a better future for their families.
It's such a nice thing that they're doing, but it's a shame, in my opinion, that they have to do that. Like, why should someone have to be away from their family for so long just to give them a good life?
It is, but it's also a shame that people look down on them. Like, you're an immigrant, what the fuck are you doing in my country? It's like, well, you know what?
I'm doing the shit that
if you're thinking like that, fuck you.
Yeah, literally.
They're trying to better not only themselves, but their entire family.
Exactly. They're trying to better themselves. What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
You're just sitting around complaining. What are you doing to better your situation? At least these people are proactive.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. And it's our fault because if we're not good enough, if we're allowing jobs to go to people who aren't residents here, then obviously in the long run we're losing money as a country because money's going out of the country because it's going to support families in other countries. And that's fair fucking play if we're shit.
Not only that,
we should be better. We shouldn't be blaming people. We should ask ourselves. We should be blaming ourselves. Why are we not better?
Not only that, we have a massive benefit system of people just being like, yeah, I don't want to be a cleaner, so I'm not going to do it. So someone else comes in and does it for them, essentially, and they just take money from the taxpayer.
Yeah, no.
And it is a bit shit, and I think we need to change our mindset on that.
Yeah, it's all about mindset.
It's not bad being a cleaner.
Not at all.
If you're a cleaner and you're providing for your family, that is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It is a skill. It is a service. You have to be particular and detailed to do a good job. And someone's got to do it,
Well, exactly. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, like what would you rather? Oh, I work, I support my family, or I sit around all day, like mooching off the system to half support my family. Like it's a lot more honourable.
Yeah.
And I think in other countries they are a lot more honourable as people, and there's a lot, I'm responsible for my family. I've got to provide for them. Whereas here it's the state will provide, and it's.
But here's the thing: even if you're working one of these quotation mark bottom of the barrel jobs, if you're not getting enough to provide what you need, you've still got support. You know, they're not just like, oh, you've got a job, we're not going to give you any extra money. No, they will be like, all right, you're working, that's great, and this is what you're on. However, we can see that for a average living wage, you would need this much extra.
Yeah.
And the government has that money available for you to take so that you don't, have a shit living standard, so that you can be above the poverty line.
Yeah. But the poverty line, like you said before, should be raised in itself.
Yeah, it should. It really should.
But then also it's a case of like, why are we discriminating? I think we mentioned this last week actually. Like, why are we raising walls and putting up borders? Like, fucking hell, we're all part of the same world. Like, if I want to go work in Spain for a bit, if I can add value to that country, I want to go there.
We talked about it a bit last week, and it's stupid. This goes back to like, why should we be together as a species? Why do we have such disparity between peoples wherever you are? And it's incomprehensible when you think about it. Like, why are we so against each other that we have nations?
Yeah. I mean, it's just remnants of like, obviously, we have nations now because it's always been that way because of our forefathers, our ancestors who obviously were warring quite a lot.
You can attribute a lot of it to evolution and just how we developed as a species, which, is understandable. However, we're also at a point where we can look at it and go, hey, if we work together, we can get a lot more done. Why should we have the US against the USSR? Why should we have Korea North against Korea South?
Yeah.
Why aren't we just looking at it and going, we are one planet, one species. We need to work together collectively to make a better world for the future, lower our emissions, because let's be honest, global warming is a thing.
Yeah.
And become interplanetary. Because, like Elon Musk says, we're one asteroid away from being extinct.
Yeah, literally. And, I mean, yeah, you can say, oh, it's a very, very low chance, but man, there's a chance, you know?
Exactly.
And then you think, oh, well, it's not my problem. Well, it is. It's all of our problems because as a species, it is hardwired into each and every one of us to survive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to quote Rooster Teeth and say that it is the most fundamental quality of man that when faced with extinction, every alternative is preferable. You know,
it
like,
definitely is.
If you're in a life and death situation as an individual, you are going to be pushed beyond reason to do something about. You know, it's weird. I saw a friend of mine over the weekend, and I don't know why we were talking about this, but we were talking about if you're falling from like a great height, maybe you skydived out the back of a plane and your parachute's not working, or you know, something like that. You know, for some reason you are falling from a great height. What would you do? Like, there's going to be a brief moment of panic, but then surely after a while you're just going to accept your fate. There's literally fuck all you can do. You're falling. What would you do?
You know what?
I'm actually asking you, by the way. Like, I'd like to know.
You know what? I have a response to this, not a personal response, but if you watched F1 last year, you would have seen the Bahrain GP and Roman Grosjean's massive crash. His car is split in two and burst into flames, which is unheard of in modern times for Formula One.
Yeah.
And they've done the report and stuff, and I think the best thing, or the most ironic thing, is, you know, they've got that hollow cockpit. Oh, shit, I just hit the mic. You know, they've got that hollow cockpit that goes around the driver.
Oh, yeah, the halo.
He was really against it when it first came out.
Yeah.
And when he crashed, it saved his life because he went through the barrier and it forced the barrier up and over his head.
Mm-hmm. And because of that...
Yeah. Because of that, he's still alive.
Yeah.
But he had this kind of, I guess, a moment of clarity where it's like, oh, this is where I die.
Yeah.
I'm in a car, it's on fire, I can't get out, and I guess this is where I die. Is it going to hurt? Is it, you know?
Yeah, man.
Like, watch Drive to Survive. Just skip to season 3 if you have to. I think it was episode 8 or 9 where they focus on this massive crash.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch that because it is really intriguing and quite surreal to watch. And when I think about that, it's like, well, that could happen at any point, at any time, for anyone.
To anyone, yeah, of course. I mean, F1 is a dangerous sport, okay? The human body has not been designed to travel at such speeds and to endure such G-force, but we have evolved to the state where we can do that to ourselves if we want.
Not only that, we have the technology.
We have the technology. But I just don't like... I mean, the classic one is, oh, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Everyone always says that, all right? I don't know where the fuck these bus drivers are coming from if they're going to crash into people. Like, shit, we need to raise the standard if that's the case.
But that's the thing, though. It's true. You don't know it. And I'm not saying bus drivers are shit.
No, they're not. It's just that's the saying. Why is that the saying anyway? Like,
probably because buses are so regular on our roads. Statistically speaking, it's going to take a bus a long time to e-brake.
Oh, and man, if you get hit by a bus, you're going under that. Like, you know, fucking side swipes. You're going.
No,
under
you're
that.
not.
What do you mean?
It's a flat fucking surface. You're just going to get splatted like a fly.
Whereas if it's a car, at least you can roll over it. You're going to get hit in the waist. Like, you're not going to, you know, do a full Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban style on the blue bus. Like,
just get squished.
Yeah.
Go squishy. Well, you know what's weird? Like, you know, George he's a massive rugby fan, and he plays rugby in his free time. It's one of his biggest passions. And the thing is, he loved playing rugby so much that it broke his back. He got tackled in such a way that it broke his back.
Is that how it happened?
Yeah, he broke his back playing rugby. And now he can't play rugby. But he still plays wheelchair rugby, and he still chases his passion in a different front. And I feel like this is the same mentality. It's, you don't know
Every week it just gets me.
You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, essentially. You could be enjoying your life, going about it on the day-to-day, having a nice little walk, and then tomorrow you go and play your rugby game and boom, you can't go on your walk anymore.
Yeah, of course. You can argue these things are written, but I mean, no one knows where they're written or who the fuck wrote them. So, you can't really dwell on that. You just gotta crack on.
I feel like the most, I guess, dark thing in my mindset is completely anti-religion. It's like, well, what happens when you die? And religious people, you go to heaven, and then you got other mindsets of, you're reborn in a new way. My mindset is, that's it.
Yeah, you literally lights out.
It goes black, you're done. Adios, my friend.
You've got to admit, though, it's a nice thought to think, my loved ones are doing something. They're not just rotting in the ground.
It's a nice thought to think. However, I already accept that once you're dead, you're done.
Yeah.
Your light is out, and that's it.
Well, as Morrissey says, there is a light that never goes out. But I don't know what that means. I just like the Smiths. What I will say, there is reincarnation, man. I quite like that concept.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad concept. However, I'm saying I would love to be reincarnated. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have a life after this.
God, I feel sorry for the fucking soul that you reincarnate. Oh shit, I'm this guy now. All right.
There are stories of people being born and having memories of a previous life.
That's what I think dreams are, in a roundabout way. I mean, it depends on the dream, of course, but I do think they are a gateway to a new reality. I know it's all in your head, and obviously, you hear about the kind of psychedelic shit that people who do drugs come up with, and I don't know what that is. That's clearly just, not natural. But I mean, it's a very Eastern concept, reincarnation, and I do subscribe to it. It's just how I feel.
I mean, I don't dismiss it. I'll say that much. I don't subscribe to it. However, I also don't dismiss it. I think it's something that could happen. But I'm also at the mindset of, look, if you're going to die, you're going to die. And that's... I thought you were going to say, if
you're going to die, just fucking do it. Don't be just crack on.
Unfortunately, that is what life is, you don't think about the chicken we're killing for food.
Yeah.
What do they do when they die? It's
of course. Well,
they're dead, aren't they?
They've served their purpose.
Yeah. So
what's our purpose? How can we make sure that we serve our purpose before we die? You can be like, I'm going to die anyway. What's the point? But you can't think like that. Everyone on this planet, we're all born for a reason. You might be born and your purpose might be to turn 1 year old, get cancer, and then sadly pass away. Or actually live until you're 86 and then have a fulfilled life and can contribute to the betterment of humanity. And obviously, after 100,000 years, you could also argue, what's the point in humanity at all? Because it's just a blip. There's a photo in my room of the Earth taken from the Voyager space probes in the late 70s. Or was it the 80s by the time that picture was taken? I'm not sure actually. I've got it written down somewhere. But every person you've ever known, every human, anything that's ever happened that we're aware of happened on that blue dot in the cosmos in space. And if you're not from that planet, why would you give a fuck?
You know what? I think the biggest achievement for humanity is being able to get an external view of where we live.
Of course. Massively. Yeah. That is so enriching. And then obviously people who might be a bit too religious get involved, that's not... But there's a lot of clarity. And there's a lot to be... It makes you feel humble, because literally, if we got wiped out by an asteroid, everything that we have built up on this planet, and when I say we, I include the dinosaurs in that shit. I include plankton in that shit.
Yeah.
It just gets wiped off, and then you could ask yourself, what's the point?
Well,
but how beautiful is life?
Well, like I said last week, if there's one mindset that is completely out there that I've got, it's that Halo makes up the majority of my viewpoints in life.
Okay.
And
in what way?
on that note, we will end.
You motherfucker! I don't know.
I talked about it last week.
The fuck? Like I don't know. Like you can't just make a point and then just like not.
Oh no, we talked about it last week, so it's already been made. It's already there.
Shit,
go to last week's episode.
I can't remember what you
have
said.
Have a listen. Go on the post show, and you get an idea of like why I think like this.
Okay, I've genuinely forgotten what you said. I mean, I'm gonna have to listen back to that myself now. God damn it.
And on that note, it's time to end to Guys Talking 008.
Thank you for listening. Check out the Instagram. Check out the YouTube. And we'll see you next week.